All right, today we're tackling a core concept for anyone who deals with virtual machines, the VMware Golden Image. You've probably heard it called a VM template, and trust me, getting this down can totally change the way you work. So let's dive right in. So, if you've ever been in IT, you know exactly this feeling, right? A ticket comes in for a new server and you just sigh. Here we go again. It's that same old slow grind of building a VM from scratch. It's a huge pain point for so many of us. But what if I told you there's a much, much better way? Okay, let's start by looking at the real villain of our story here, the manual setup process. We're calling it the setup nightmare for a good reason. It's not just that it's slow and mind-numbingly repetitive, it's also a minefield for human error. You miss one tiny step, one little checkbox, and suddenly you've got huge problems to deal with later on. And what does that grind actually look like? Well, first you have to create the new VM shell, then you mount the OS ISO, sit there while the operating system installs, then you run all the system updates, which, let's be honest, can take forever. After that, you've got to manually install all your standard apps. And finally, after all that, you go through and configure every single setting. It's easily a multi-hour job, and it's just screaming to be automated. But okay, enough complaining about the problem, right? Let's talk about the solution. It's time to bring in the hero of this story, the Golden Image, or in the VMware world, what we call the VM template. So what is this thing, really? Simply put, a VMware VM template is a master copy of a virtual machine that's set to read-only. I want you to think of it as the absolute perfect version of a server. The OS is installed, it's all patched up, all the standard software's on there, and it's configured exactly how you want it. It's the blueprint you'll use to stamp out new identical VMs in a tiny fraction of the time. And that blueprint analogy, it's seriously the best way to think about this. You know how a builder uses a blueprint to make sure every house is built exactly the same, super quickly and without mistakes? That's exactly what you're doing here, but with virtual machines. It's all about perfect consistency every single time. So, what makes this whole template idea so powerful? What's the secret sauce? Well, let's break down its core superpowers, because they are pretty impressive. Okay, so these four things really work together to make the magic happen. First up, you get standardization. This is huge. It means no more configuration drift, where one server is slightly different from another. Everything is identical. Then there's efficiency. We're talking about deploying a new server in minutes, not hours. It's a game changer. It also acts as your perfect master copy, with the OS, apps, and all your settings baked right in. And finally, and this is key, it's read-only. That means nobody can accidentally power it on and mess it up. Your golden image stays, well, golden. And I really want to double down on that efficiency point. This quote here really nails it. The number one thing you will notice right away is how much time you save. We're not talking about a small improvement here. This is a fundamental change in how you roll out new machines. All right, so we get what it is and we know why it's so great. But how do you actually do it? How do you take that one perfect VM and use it to build an entire army of servers? Well, the process is actually way simpler than you might think. It really just boils down to three simple steps. First, you have to do that manual build, but just one last time. You build your source VM and get it absolutely perfect. Step two, you power it off, and then it's literally just a right click to convert that VM into a template. And then for step three, anytime you need a new server, you just deploy it by cloning that template. Seriously, that's it. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, I can't have a bunch of servers with the same name and IP address on my network. And you are absolutely right. That's where this awesome feature called customization specifications comes into play. You basically create a set of rules that tells VMware how to give each new clone its own unique identity, a unique computer name, a unique IP address, all that stuff. So the moment it powers on, it's a unique machine ready to go. I mean, when you put them side by side, the difference is it's night and day. A manual build takes hours. Consistency is basically a roll of the dice, and the effort is through the roof. With a template clone, you're talking minutes. Consistency is 100% guaranteed, and the effort is almost zero. It's a no-brainer, really. Okay, so hopefully you're sold on this by now, but let's talk strategy for a second. When is the best time to actually use a template? What are the perfect missions for this hero of ours? Well, there are a few scenarios where they're an absolute must. Think about deploying a whole farm of web servers or application servers that all need to be identical. Templates are perfect for that. They're also the absolute backbone of any virtual desktop infrastructure or VDI setup, where you're serving up hundreds of desktops from one master image. But really, at the end of the day, they're perfect for automating any virtual machine task that you find yourself doing over and over and over again. So as we start to wrap this up, let's think about the bigger picture here. The golden image concept is so much more than just a neat little time saver. It's really a foundational piece of a much bigger automation strategy. And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Templates aren't just some random feature. They are the absolute bedrock of any modern virtual infrastructure. They give you the standardization, the speed, and the efficiency you need to scale things up reliably. Honestly, it's a foundational skill for anyone heading towards DevOps or cloud engineering. This is your blueprint for automation. So, there you have it. The blueprint is set. You're not just building servers anymore, you're engineering a truly scalable, consistent, and automated environment. So the only question left is, with all that time you're about to save, what are you going to build?